हरि ओम मकर संक्रांति शुभाशयाः सर्वेभ्यः इनिय पोंगल नलवार्तकल त्वानु लहरी दी लख लख बधाइयां बोहाग बिहुर शुभेच्छा and Shubh Makar Sankranti to everyone present here. So it was nice to understand about the lunisolar calendar, and see what is important is, like Arvind said, there was a lot of festivals are based on the tithi of the moon. Sankranti is a festival based on the movement of the sun. Do you know how many Sankrantis are there in the whole year? There are 12 Sankrantis in the whole year. Whenever the sun goes into a new Rashi or a zodiac sign, that is called Sankranti. Sankramana literally means movement. So 12 days or 12 tithis are celebrated, not just one day. Sankranti is celebrated 12 times in the year. And this Sankranti is based on the movement of the sun. Now, before I go into the spiritual, cultural aspects of this, one thing we have to understand here is the effect of the earth rotating. See, earth rotates and there's a tilt in the earth, so that 23.4 is the tilt, and then the earth keeps on rotating. But the axis on which the earth rotates also goes through movement. And so that is called axial precession. Now, based on that axial precession, there is a shift in the axial precession by 50 seconds every year. And hence we find there is a big confusion which we have in our Hindu culture, is we say that today on Makar Sankranti day, Uttarayana starts. It is inaccurate actually to say that, because on Makar Sankranti day, Uttarayana does not start now. Uttarayana starts in the winter solstice, which is December 21 or 22. One of these days it will be. Uttarayana starts at that time. Today is the day when the sun enters Makar Rashi. Now this Uttarayana and sun entering Makar Rashi used to be at one and the same point certain number of years ago, based on this axial precession. So I'm just going to read out that one aspect to you so that we have this clarity. See, in 1000 AD, Makar Sankranti was on December 21st. So the Uttarayana day and the Makar Sankranti day was coinciding. Then so correct. In 272 AD, Makar Sankranti was on December 21, not in 1000. My mistake. 272 AD, Makar Sankranti was on December 21. In 1000 AD, Makar Sankranti was on December 31st, and now it is on January 14th or 15th. After 9,000 years, Makar Sankranti will come in June. So we should remember this, that the Uttarayana period is not necessarily to coincide with the day of Makar Sankranti. Astronomically, it is this calculation based on the rotation of the sun. And if you go into the astronomical calculations, they say very clearly this Earth's rotation on its axis is influenced by the by the pull of the moon, as well as the sun, as well as other planets also. It's very interesting what astrology in our culture tells us and what astronomy is telling us today. Thousands of years ago, our great astronomers, they have predicted many things and they have explained very clearly. And what they have explained as the power of the grahas. So it is not just that the Sankranti is the transition of the sun into the Makar Rashi. I'm just going to read one very powerful portion which will make you just understand that how our masters in the past, like Arvind said, they were in tune with the universe and they knew which are the forces acting on the earth and how it affects the earth's rotation, and that is how they coincided the many of these celebrations and these festivals. So let me just read that one portion to you. See, it may be stated that in ancient texts, the entrance of the sun alone in a Rashi is not considered as a holy time. But the entrance of all planets in a nakshatra or a Rashi was deemed to be a holy time. न केवलम आदित्यस्य एव संक्रमायने पुण्यकालः किंतु सर्वेषामपि ग्रहाणां नक्षत्र राशि संक्रमे पुण्यकालो भवति. So the Hemadri and Kal Nirnay, which are Kal Nirnay specifically about calculation of time, and you will see a lot of precise explanations given about the movements of the planetary, the planets and the stars, and our earth and all that is mentioned, and then they determine what is the appropriate time, the auspicious time to do certain things. So in that Kal Nirnay, he says very, very clearly that the holy time of the passage of the sun and the planets are as follows. In the case of sun, the Punyakala is 16 ghatikas before and after the moment of the Sankranti. For the moon, it is 1 ghati and 13 palas. For Mars, 4 ghatis and 1 pala. For Mercury, 3 ghatis and 14 palas. For Jupiter, 4 ghatikas and 37 palas. For Venus, 4 ghatikas and 1 pala. For Saturn, 82 ghatikas and 7 palas. Like that it gives. And based on all these confluences of these various nakshatras, the Punyakala, the right time when this sun is moving into this Rashi from Dhanush Rashi into Makar Rashi is determined. Very interesting is one analogy that they give, that it is not possible for the fleshy human eyes to determine exact time when the sun actually crosses. So they say that in Devi Purana it is said, why I'm quoting all this is for you to understand that we think our Puranas only some stories and some mythology, but there's a lot of science hidden in the Puranas. So here it is said in Devi Purana that how do you know at what particular time the sun went from this Rashi, Dhanush Rashi, into Makar Rashi. So they say, just consider that a person is sitting happily at ease and just winking the eye, blinking the eye. So they say that 1/30th part of the throb of an eye is called tatpara. 100th part of tatpara is called truti. And 100th part of truti is the time taken by the sun to move from one Rashi into another. Can we ever find out that unit of time? 1/30th of the time taken to blink the eye is tatpara. 100th of tatpara is truti, and 100th of that truti is the actual duration, the time taken by sun to move from Dhanush Rashi into Makar Rashi. Like that 12 times in the year. So now when it moves, we don't know exact time. So they say that what I read earlier, the 20, what they said, Punya Kala, so 16 Ghatikas. So 12 hours before and 12 hours after is actually the time when one should do various rituals which will give maximum benefit. I will come to that. My point was this. First and foremost, Sankranti does not fall on the same day. That is a correction we have to understand. It is falling on the same day for a few years right now because of our human life is very small, some 50, 60, 70 years. In that we see same day. But it does not actually fall on the same day. It falls based on the rotation of the earth. And so it was falling in December, on December 21st in 272 AD. So Uttarayana and Makar Sankranti was coinciding, which is when the northern movement of the sun will start. That is why it is called Uttarayana. Now, what is the significance? Before I come to significance of Uttarayana, we have to understand one more beautiful thing. One of the most, if you consider historically, they say that the Rig Veda is the most ancient Veda. And in Rig Veda, you will find lots of hymns which are addressed to nature. And the Gayatri Mantra also you will find in the Rig Veda. And we were one of the earliest worshippers of the Surya Devata. Though there were various forms also, but we also worship the Lord Sun as the manifestation of the Supreme Creator. For us, sun is not just a star. And please understand this Makar Sankranti is not a harvest festival. It may be coinciding today with harvest. Okay, number one. Number two, it is a sun festival and it is a Hindu festival. Because what happens is slowly people want to appropriate away these festivals and they want to remove the Hinduness from the festival and they want to say it is a celebration of nature, it is a kite flying festival and it is a Tilgud festival. Hello, it is a Hindu festival to worship Surya Devata, full stop. Whether you like it or not. After some few hundred years, these fellows, Western guys will turn around and they will come back to us and then they will say, oh, we are doing sun worship. Already sun worship is very big in a lot of places. They don't believe in form. So they say, we believe in sun because, I don't believe in this God and that form and this particular deity, but I worship sun because sun for me is life. Sun is what makes my metabolism work. Sun gives me light. Sun is that because of which evaporation happens, so I get rain. Sun is that because of which this photosynthesis is happening, so I get food. For me, sun is everything. Hundreds and thousands of years ago, our masters were already worshipping sun. It's nothing new that these guys are introducing to us. And you will find on Amazon, sun worship kits. Are Rama, what is the sun worship kits? It is there in our culture. We used to worship the Surya every single day as our sadhana, as Gayatri Mantra chanting. More about that you will see as the session goes on. But specifically, we also mark the Sankrantis, 12 Sankrantis of the year, and there are specific vratas to be done. Of all those 12 Sankrantis, this Makar Sankranti is considered very important because that marks the movement of the sun. That it used to coincide with Uttarayana, right? So it marks the upward movement, the northern movement of the sun. And that is to symbolize the power of knowledge. North is the direction of knowledge. Symbolically speaking, south is the direction of death. We run away from death. Nobody wants death. And in Vedanta, we say change is death. Every minute, everything which is changing. So every minute, are there not so many cells dying in the body and new cells are being born? Our minds change, our emotions change, our goals change, people around us change, everything changes every single moment, and more I identify with the change, more will be my sorrow. So those who identify with the changeless, sun for us is a symbol of that supreme consciousness, symbol of life, symbol of love, symbol of service, symbol of knowledge, and we worship sun as devata. We don't worship sun as a star, some physical object, because this physical star is going to die. Yeah, it has a certain billion years ka life, it will perish. But Surya is not just the star, it is the devata. It is a presiding deity, and we worship Surya Dev, who is nothing but manifestation of the Lord in one particular form. And so you see here, sun has the 7 horses, Surya Devata. Aruna is the charioteer, and Surya is the deity, and 7 horses, which are 7 days. So we worship Surya Devata on this day. That we should be very clear. We should never forget that. Otherwise, slowly we will forget that part, which today many of us already have forgotten. We are more interested in eating til good. And when we were children, we used to make til good laddus, and one during our time these coins were 5 paisa, 10 paisa, 25 paisa. 1 rupee is very big. If somebody gets 1 rupee in that til laddu, oh ho ho, they will celebrate like anything. So we used to hide in that, the red laddu, put the coin in that laddu, make that laddu, and we make it some 3-4 days before we start making it. And then on the Sankranti day, everybody chooses the laddu and they're eagerly waiting. And each one who is making that laddu is very careful that which coin they are putting, it should not be seen. They have to cover it properly. So we used to be very excited, till good laddu and take that. But our parents, they insisted that you first take a bath, and they used to put sesame, the till in that water. On this day, Sankranti day, Makar Sankranti day, till is very, very important. Because till, traditionally it is said that on this day, Shivji created till. In Shiva Rahasya, it is said, on this particular day, Makar Sankranti day, the till was created by Lord Shiva. And so on this day, many things are done with till. And as I said, the Sankranti and Uttarayana used to coincide, and it will come in December. So slowly, it is still winter time, it is there. The cold is still there, and till is very warm. So this till, one used to put the till in water and take a bath. So one will do that. One will put till oil in the lamps and light the lamps, and especially to Lord Shiva. These are things to be done for Sankranti. Eat til ka laddu, take bath with till water, light lamps with the till oil. One has to do shraddha, offer the shraddha to the ancestors with the till water. And also to devatas, one does tarpan. We have forgotten many of these. Then one should do dana of till. One should do homa with the till. These are things to be done on the Sankranti day with till. Till along with various other samagris are put in Havan. So Gayatri Havan is done, and one does. Today morning in our Chinmaya Prakash zone, we had done that. So Gayatri Havan with till, one can offer light lamps to Lord Shiva with till oil, take bath with till, eat till ka laddu, offer till water to the gods and the devatas, to the pitrus, and do donation of til ka laddu with various other things. Also one gives sugarcane. We used to eat sugarcane that day, and eat with bare with bare teeth, not cut and nicely given with some dressing and all that. You open it, tear it with your teeth. And that used to be a competition also. Who can finish that this much sugarcane properly, fatafat, without struggling. So many of those things. So now till was created on that day. So a lot of things are done with till, and the Surya is worshipped with this till. That is why it is a Hindu festival proper. Don't ever forget the Hindu part in this. And as I said, we used to worship sun. A very beautiful shloka I want to share here, where it is said, Yatha bhedam na pashyami Shiva Vishnuarka Padmajan Tatha mamastu Vishwatma Shankara Shankara Sada. Matsya Puran 98.17. And very nice line, this shloka it is, where he says, I don't differentiate between Shiva, Vishnu, Brahmaji, and Surya, which means for us, sun is Ishvara. Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, they are gods, no? They are creator, sustainer, and destroyer. For us, sun is equal to Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Why? Because life is created because of sun. Life is sustained because of sun. And do you know, our scriptures are very clear about it. What today we are calling as global warming is mentioned in our Puranas, that as time passes, the heat will increase of the sun on the earth and the waters will start drying up. People will not have enough water to drink. Many effects are given. And slowly, because of the sun, one type of destruction will happen because of the sun. Another type of destruction is pralay, which is with water. But sun also is one big major source of destruction. So for us, Surya, that's why, is not just the star. For us, it is Surya Dev, and we worship Surya Dev. Makar Sankranti is meant for that. And we consider all the four, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, and Surya. Surya is equal to all these three. And also, do you know, Shankaracharya ji, he organized our Sanatana Dharma into a system of worship in Sanatana Dharma into 6 major systems of worship, major aspects of worship. That is called Shanmata Sthapana. So there are lots of gods which we have, but they all get categorized into, those who worship Shiva are called Shaivas, those who worship Vishnu are called Vaishnavas, those who worship Shakti are called Shaktas, those who worship Ganeshji are called Ganapatyas, those who worship Subramanya, they are called Kartikeyas, and those who worship Surya, they are called Sauryas. 6 major forms of worship. So sun worship has been a part of our culture, and as Arvind said earlier, we celebrate both the great powers in the sky, sun and the moon. Our festivals are based on both these. Now, what is the specific significance of Uttarayana? Ut means up. Uttara means higher and higher. Uttama means the best. Like we have no positive, super, comparative, superlative degree, like that. Uttara, Uttara, Uttama. So, a person who is wanting to rise above body consciousness, that person is called a seeker. Because the sun represents also the fire element, the fire will always go upwards, fire will not go down. So sun symbolizes that knowledge, that we should know who we are. Moon is connected to enjoyment. That's why they say, you know, your face is looking like the moon. Nobody says your face is looking like sun. Oh, you are shining so bright like sun. You say Chand sa mukhda. What is that? Chand sa Roshan chehra. Nobody says Surya sa Roshan chehra. So it is so you equate enjoyment. That's why Gurudev used to laugh. You know, people go for honeymoon, not for honey sun after marriage. So this moon is connected to sense enjoyment because it provides coolness, and you know, you can see the moon clearly, and there is a certain romance associated with that. So sense enjoyments, and also because moon is the deity of the mind, Manaso Devata Chandrama. Our mind and the moon are very closely connected. And that's why those days when the moon is closer to the earth, the tidal waves, they rise higher, we feel the pressure in the body, and it will affect the mind also. So those days, if one does upvas, etc., it will help the person. So sun is connected to the buddhi, and moon is connected to the mind, emotions. Yeah, that's why slightly mad people are called lunatic. Lunar, connected to lunar. Yes. So moon connected to enjoyment, pleasures, body identification, And those who are pursuers of knowledge, who live more at the intellectual level, who want to rise beyond the intellect. So from body, rise above the body to the level of the buddhi, and then go beyond the buddhi to realize the absolute truth, the consciousness within us. Each of us are that infinite pure consciousness. For us, sun represents that infinite consciousness. And so to realize that consciousness, a seeker who is striving, that seeker pursues knowledge in life. Throughout the life, that the activities of that seeker are to rise above body consciousness. And this period of 6 months becomes more easy to do that. Why? Because see, the rainy season, the autumn, then the winter, etc., what do we honestly feel? We feel very cool, cozy. We want to lie in the rajai, and we don't want to get up. And anyway, the days are shorter, nights are longer. Now, if you get up at 6 o'clock today, it's not so bright. It is still dark. But when this Uttarayana actually has started, and this Makar Sankranti starts, nowadays here a lot of pollution and all that also is there. So many challenges we have. But otherwise, the Uttarayana period will start. The days will start getting longer. So it is more easier. See, cold is something which makes the body struggle also. A seeker will struggle. And when we have cold, we come into comfort zones quite easily. Great yogis and siddhas, etc., they handle cold in a very different way. But we get attached to our sleep and enjoyment and laziness and lethargy and all that. So the seeker wants to rise above all that. So this period of 6 months becomes much more effective, much more easier to do sadhana. And that is why the pursuer of this knowledge will always focus on living the life higher than body identification. Anybody who tries to go beyond body identification will excel in life. Not only spiritual seeker. You think about a musician. When the person forgets oneself, plays the best music, music flows through that person. Why? Because the person forgot oneself. Body identification gone, no other thoughts, emotions, nothing. One has become fully identified with music. So whoever learns to go beyond body identification, that person will evolve higher and higher. And this period becomes more easy for them to evolve. Now, one more important point associated with this festival is Bhishma has waited for Uttarayan time to drop the body. He had Ichha Mrityu Vardhan. Why did he wait for his Uttarayan time? Because it is said that this period of Uttarayan, when it starts, in nature also, there are different phenomenal forces who will start working. And when you leave the body at such times, they will guide you to the higher realms where knowledge is important. They are called the Devatas, presiding deities. So in the Gita, in the 8th chapter, it comes, there are two paths for a yogi, not for a bhogi. For bhogi does not matter, but for a yogi, a person who is striving to realize the truth, if that person drops the body in these times, Agnihi, Jyotihi, Ahaha, Shuklaha, Shanmasa, Uttarayanam. If the yogi drops the body in these times, when there is fire, when there is daytime, when it is Shukla Paksha, when it is Uttarayan time, in these times, if the body is dropped, that person will go to Brahmalok, the highest loka, and there one will wait, one will not come back to earth, rebirth will not happen. There Brahmaji will give the knowledge of the truth and that person gets liberated. That is called gradual liberation or Krama Mukti. So Bhishma wanted that Krama Mukti. Bhishma was not interested in being reborn in this earth. He wanted Krama Mukti, so he waited for this day. And when the Devatas of these, so each of these for us is a sentient force. The Supreme Lord manifests through certain sentient being forces and they govern the functioning. 6 months of Uttarayan, there is a deity. Like Surya Devata is there, there is a deity for Uttarayan, there is a deity for Shukla Paksha, there is a deity for fire, there is a deity for the daytime, etc. These deities will guide the soul to the world of Brahmaji. That is called Devayan. And there they will get knowledge and they get liberated. But if that yogi drops the body in these other 6 months, Dakshinayan time, Dhumo Ratri Tatha Krishna Shanmasa Dakshinayanam Tatha Chandramasam Jyoti Yogi Prapya Nivartate. Then what happens? This person, he is a yogi, he is still striving to realize the truth. But there are some vasanas left, there is some sense enjoyment left, desire is left little bit. In Bhishma and such great seekers, that desire is not there, they only want liberation. If a yogi is striving and there's still some material vasanas left, and if the person drops the body in these times, in 6 months of Dakshinayan, or in the night time, or in the dark fortnight, or when there is smoke around, then that person goes to Chandra Loka. And Chandra, as I said, is symbolic of the mind, of the sense enjoyments and body identification. So after exhausting some punya karmas there, that person again comes back to earth, again the seeking of that person will start. So the time of dropping the body is very important from our standpoint of Hindu culture, and even the place of dropping the body. If you drop the body in auspicious places, Kashi, Rameshwaram, Kedarnath, Badrinath, so many of these, Gaya, lots of these wonderful places. Remembering Bhagavan, one gets mukti. So this is why the importance of Uttarayan, while living also and while dropping the body also, and what happens after also. That's the power of Uttarayan. While living, we pursue knowledge. While dropping the body, those devatas who are activated, they will guide the soul ahead. Now somebody says, Swamiji, I am seeking knowledge, but if I die in Dakshinayan time because of some past karma, then what will happen to me? Then you will wait for those 6 months, because those appropriate officers are not yet, they have come to duty. So you will be in a waiting lounge, wait. After that, in the waiting lounge, when those officers get ready, their shift changes. Now these people will come and they will escort you. Aye, please come, now we will take you to Brahmalok. Because these other deities, they don't have the power to take you to Brahmalok. So you wait in the waiting lounge. So this is the importance of Uttarayan. While living, pursue knowledge, pursue higher aspects, try to go beyond body identification, do service of the society. Not that you cannot enjoy, but focus is not on enjoyment. Focus is on gaining knowledge. And do you know, if we learn this one thing, that we, even today, a lot of these successful businessmen and achievers and leaders and sports people and all of them, they will tell you one thing, okay? Be a constant learner. Your learning curve must keep growing. It should not get stagnated, which our culture has said thousands of years back, that be a sadhak 24/7, 364 days, 365 days of the year. Every single moment, ask yourself, what did I learn? How can I evolve? How can I grow out of my attachments? That is a sadhak's life. So Uttarayan means that specifically how we pursue knowledge while living, how we drop the body in the right time, if that is possible by us, and when we drop the body also, if we have not realized the truth here, we will realize it later in the Brahmalok. So a person gets mukti, one doesn't again come back. Misery, if you come back again into this world, already there is water crisis and the whole world is in chaos. Now you think when you come back, what will happen to you? Why should one come back? And if nothing, remember, Guruji Swami Tejamanand says very nicely, just remember school. You have to go through 20 years of schooling. If you remember school, you will want mukti, saying, enough Baba, I again don't want to be born and again go through education system. No. So get mukti and become realized. That is the power of Uttarayan. So this is what is the spiritual significance of Uttarayan. And as I said, the things to be done on this day, Or snan, people take Ganga snan also, that is very, very famous. If not, you do the snan in your house with till water and all that, and chant Gange cha Yamune chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jalesmin Sannidhim Kuru. So snan is important, then dan is important, tapa is important. Today, if you do any japa, especially the Punya Kala of Sankranti, all the 12 tithis in the whole year, whatever japa you do today, it will give maximum result. Suppose you do one mala, it will not give you benefit of only one mala. Some numbers are given, I don't exactly remember, but it will give you lots of so it is said inexhaustible. They are not even given specific number in this. You see, inexhaustible will be the result of dana, of tapa, of japa, of snan, of shraddha, of homa. All these are what we are supposed to do. So let us remember the essence of our festivals and worship the Supreme Lord through these festivals, and proudly say, I am a proud and practicing Hindu, and this is a Hindu festival. Don't say this is a harvest festival only, or a kite flying festival only, or a Tilgud festival. It is a Hindu festival, full stop. Because 200 years down the line, we will not know otherwise. Every other fellow will say, it is our festival. We started it, and somebody in their culture started it, and all that. So keep that in mind. Wish you all a happy Sankranti, and may the blessings of Surya Dev be with all of us. Whichever field we are in, whether we are seeker or not, Buddhi Devta is Surya Devta. Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. May that Surya preside over our intellect. I'm just going to end with this question they have asked here. Did Gurudev drop the body during Uttarayana time? Gurudev dropped the body in Dakshinayan time, but for a Jivan Mukta, it does not matter where the Jivan Mukta drops the body. The dropping of the body is important only for the seeker who has not yet realized the truth. It is not important for a Jivan Mukta. Jivan Mukta is already dead to the body. So it does not matter. So Gurudev dropped the body on August 3rd, that is Dakshinayan time only. But it doesn't matter at all. Right. Which mala are you talking? Any mala, you do japa of any mantra. I'm not talking any specific mala, Rudraksha or crystal mala or Tulsi. Whichever mala, whatever mantra you are doing, Ishta mantra japa, you do. Right. Go ahead, Vinit.